Coming to you live, recorded from the central United States. We've got game number 3, and it's 2 new players. We've got Camden and Jeff. They're playing the Eastern Front scenario. Camden playing the Germans. Jeff playing the Soviet Union. So it's Nazis versus commies in the big roundup here in Eastern Europe. We've gone through the turn phases, determined turn order, that is. Germans won by bidding 4 oil, Soviets bid 0 oil. And we got movement. We've got combat movements there in Northeast Europe and down in the Caucasus, big battle. Ukraine is embattled. We got a lot of forces moving. We had 1 naval unit move from A4, the Soviets, down to off the coast of Britain, waiting for the Germans to come out of their hiding place. And let us see what happens after combat. Okay, at the round 1, end of combat, we've got the Germans taking the Caucasus and leaving. Got a couple of aircraft that need to land, and we got a land unit there survived. However, the Soviets took the Ukraine. They got their land unit there, and the aircraft of the Germans needs to land. There was no battle in that particular territory, no battle in the Baltic, but there's planes that need to land. And in Leningrad, the Germans were repelled and completely wiped out, and 1 Soviet unit remains. And there was no sea combat. So now we're gonna land the planes, and let's take a look at the dead. This is what everybody experienced. Ooh, a lot of dead infantry on the Soviet side. And the Germans lost some of their very expensive armor. So that's going to stack up on stress. So stress calculation. For the Germans, their casualties total up 26 stress, which puts them into the 1 box there, 20 to 34. And he had, how many stress for the losing Ukraine? 4 stress for losing Ukraine. And he got a medal for winning the Caucasus. Soviets lost the Caucasus, so they got 2 stress, 3 stress, 3 stress. And they have a total of casualty stress casualty value points of 24. So they're also in the 1 stress box. So the Germans are thinking of buying one of the stress down because he's close to his threshold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Whenever you were saying the split, I was suspicious that you were going to attack my factory, and I was going to send an Air Force there.
I expected you to.
I decided to attack the Navy.
All right, looking at the map upside down. I know this is disorienting to you people, but that's the way it is. All right, Soviets. They spent some oil and they got the first turn order. Germans going second. Nobody is stressed out too much. Still in their starting boxes. But we're going to have the Battle of Belarus. A bunch of armor and artillery and infantry and some aircraft thrown in, and they're going to make a nice mess of that part of Europe. Ukraine, he's got some invaders coming up to hamper the Soviet control. The Caucasus is going to remain under German control and still reap that oil reward. Builds, Germany is building some, looks like artillery and infantry. Soviets building armor and infantry. And we're going to get our first naval battle where we got aircraft from Germany attacking the ship of Soviet along with his Baltic Sea Fleet. The Kriegsmarine! The Battle of Belarus. Ooh, that's a lot of units out there. Germans on the left, Soviets on the right.
How many dice do you have for your air?
3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
3 does the 10 and a 3.
I got 6.
15, 10 and 5. He's got 6. Soviets first in turn order, first to roll. The UN is watching all of this activity.
We got 2 green. One, 2.
It's 1 fighter killed.
Do we do purple?
Blue?
Blue?
No.
Because it's
They're
air.
just on the ground.
Okay. Oh, I know that didn't. Okay. That one's done. It's your turn.
Ten dice rolled.
So you got 2 white, 2 blues, green, a yellow, and 3 blacks.
Whoa, 3 blacks.
So let's do your green first. No, you want to do your red first?
Yeah, I think you have to do, well, green first.
It's green first.
It doesn't
yeah.
matter. I don't think it matters.
So 1. Black is wild, so it counts as a success.
Yes.
Okay.
But you don't do that yet. You
Okay.
go up through the colors. So you do green and then red. And then
Now black.
white.
Oh yeah, white. Oh, white kills wounded.
White and then black. Yeah, so the whites kill those. Oops, let me get that in camera. Do that again. Yeah, so the whites kill those that are in the wounded box. Yeah. And you have 3 blacks.
Yep. So 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and that circle at the top is a command unit. It's not an actual
Oh,
air
yeah.
unit.
Right. It was just to keep the battalions or the forces separate.
And then, so that was my first 10. I get 5 more.
And 5 more. Man, the Luftwaffe, Goering gave them a hard talking to
Green.
and gets the final kill. So,
Does green count for a damaged aircraft?
yeah, it could be green or white.
Oh, yeah, it sure
Because
does.
the box has the green and the white in it. It's
Okay.
a way to remember it.
So we're done with the air campaign, right?
Yes,
So now,
that was devastating. Oh, the aftermath of battle. These are all the Belarusian dead. Well, there's not the civilians that are dead, but this is the military that's dead. That was the big battle. And the Soviets lost. Germany retains control of Belarus, right?
Yeah. I just realized my guys are on Italy. Should I move those up?
And those guys that are on Italy are actually German dead. So we've seen the Battle of Belarus. Germans come out ahead, still retain control, right there. And there was a battle in Ukraine. Soviets held, still maintain control. There's a lot of dead in Belarus. And the battle for the North Atlantic, Germans win with supreme air power. Soviet Navy completely sunk. But no resources, no resource cards, no territory cards changed hands. And the war continues. This is round 2 after the first combat phase. We have some planes to land. Okay, end of round 2. The Soviets bought 3 civilian goods to go along with their medal. So their threshold is 5, so they're going to need 1 more medal. They got to win a medal to go down in the Wheel of Destruction stress level wheel. So turn order. Who did turn order? Germans spent 5 oil to beat the Soviet 1 oil to get to go first. Y'all remember that this US stuff is, and this Japanese stuff, that's all part of a different game. That's a Pacific scenario that's being played on the same board. What we got over on the Eastern Front scenario. Oh man, we've only got 2 battles now. These guys are getting tired. So we got air units, land units. I don't know those country names.
Ukraine and
Volga?
Yeah.
Volga. Ukraine and Volga. I think that's it. The Battle of Volga and the Caucasus. The 2 sides traded territories. They both get a medal and they both get stress. So now the Soviets. They had over 7. They had 7 stresses, so they had to move down on the wheel. The Germans got under 18, so they added no stress for their casualties. And they're still not moved down the wheel, but the Soviets moved down the wheel of misfortune. So now their rails don't work and their ports don't work. Well, the ports don't have the advantage, they still work. And there's a lot of empty space out there. I'm kind of surprised Eastern Front has empty countries. But it looks like an even matchup. The Germans have the technology advantage because they still got a good 6, 7 air units. Soviets have no air force. They're all land. They lost their navy. The German navy, I don't think he can do anything sitting there. So it's going to be body waves sent at the Germans and see if the technology can respond and win it. Round 4, combat movement's done, and we're about to start combat, and it's only the Battle of Belarus, and it's a big battle. Germans made a mistake issuing orders to go via rail from the Greater Germany all the way to Belarus, but you can't enter a battle via the train. And there's a sneaky little Soviet communist down there in the Black Sea doing an end run. I like that move. I like it a lot. Ooh, this is the Battle of Belarus. I think it's the 2nd Battle of Belarus, maybe the 3rd, I don't know. It's round 4. There's a lot of guys out there, a lot of killing going on. Alright, after the big Belarusian battle, the Germans earned enough stress for losing Belarus. That's 4 stress points. And they moved down a slot. And I have to correct earlier, when the Soviets bought a bunch of civilian goods, we had the wrong price, so we didn't have the rule right on that. He only paid 3 resources for 3 civilian goods. And so we put them back and gave him back his 3 resources because they cost 5 resources each. So we got them both moved down the stress wheel, and we still have more stress to go. There's still stress, and there's some casualties from Belarus. Rest in peace.
Bulgaria, he countered with air command. He moved his a supporting force to protect his unit production. I moved 1 troop into the Baltic states, and he countered with a massive troop movement.
A lot of armor there. Okay, so the action is beyond Belarus. In fact, Belarus is all quiet. This is round 5 combat. It is round 5 combat. Man, look at that. He's building some. He's got a big stack to move. He's building a little. Germans.
I'm gonna kill my ground forces and my tanks. That's smart.
Round 5, turn order, Soviets and Germans second. How much oil did you spend, Soviets?
6.
Germans?
0.
Shrewd.
Spinning 0.
Correction, Soviets only bid 1, and the Germans, the Enigma code was broken, they only bid 0, and the Russians knew about it. But they were told by the British. If that makes any difference to you people out there that are British. So the big story of round 5 combat is that the Luftwaffe lost 1 airplane, the Wehrmacht lost nothing, but the Soviets gave up some infantry and artillery, and no territories changed hands. So we got some empty room. Battle on. And we're at the beginning of round 6. The Soviets bid 1 oil, Germans 0. Soviets go first. And on the wheel of misfortune, they're both in the no railroad and port advantage. So without the railroad, everybody is walking. Or flying if you got a plane. Got 3 battles. Germans went unopposed into Leningrad, but they're going to have to fight the garrison. The combative Ukraine got flipped over to explosive. Big force against 1 German unit. And then south there in the Bulgaria, Romania area, it's 1 Soviet unit against 90% of the German army. Let's do it. Oh, somebody's building a ship. They're in Germany. Air Force building built in Moscow. Round 6, end of combat. The Ukraine was embattled. 1 lone German armor unit against 5 Soviet units, and it remains embattled. This guy, the 48th of the Wehrmacht, will not die. Won't give up Ukraine. And the Germans hold on to their oil down in Bulgaria, Romania, whatever that country's called. And the Germans get a freebie there in Leningrad. The garrison did a poor job of defending. Ooh-wee. Let's go. Desperation on the part of the Germans. They bid 6 oil. That's all they had to get the turn order. But the Soviets, they bid 7. They bid so they were more desperate. Woo! Round 6 is gonna be hot.
7.
Round 7 is gonna be hot. All right, round 7, right? Yeah, round 7. Combat moves. R5. Leningrad. Soviets moved in. Air forces, armor. No armor. Yes, no armor. Just artillery and infantry. But the Germans only have armor and artillery. No advantage there. Leningrad. Then Bryansk. Got some air units from Germany and ground units from the Soviets. Then in Ukraine, it continues to be embattled, but it looked like it might be over this time. Germans are vastly outnumbering the 1 unit that remains from the Soviets. Aircraft carrier did not move, did not fly his plane. He can fly his plane, but he only moves 1 space adjacent to a sea space, so there's nothing. Correction. He could fly into Leningrad. And if you look at the steps on the board there, move aircraft, carrier aircraft. So he could join that battle if he decided to. Don't have to write orders. Germans only wrote 5 orders,
Yes.
and the Soviets only wrote 6 orders. So if they move down to the supply lines disrupted area, and they lose 3 movement orders, it won't make much of a difference. End of combat. They're going to move their planes. Leningrad is still embattled. Bryansk was just an air attack and the planes are going to fly back. Ukraine, that one Soviet unit was destroyed. And the aircraft carrier plane respawned. That's it.
I had 21L to R7. $57L to G6, that's canceled. 11A to R4 is canceled. 1, 2, 3, 4. 13A to R4 is still on.
Okay.
What's that there?
My planes have taken off. My orders are complete. You went first, so you get to decide the first battle.
Let's do Leningrad first.
Okay. Air combat, sure. Actually,
I also have 3. 3 yellows.
1 green.
Alright, so
Force advantage. I have more forces types, so I have force advantage.
okay. So these don't count. 3 yellows.
3 or 4.
Oh, 4. Wait, I think that was a white.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Okay. And then, yeah, that's it.
Okay. I've got 10, 12, 15 plus 12 is 27. Roll number 1. Green, 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 black, black, black. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. You're done.
Very nice.
Congratulations.
So this guy's dead.
Nah, 12.
Okay.
Bryansk, air combat.
Oh, not 13.
13. One green.
1 white, 1 black.
One black. So that's 1 kill.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah, because it's
1
it goes,
green, 1 white, 1 black.
Yes, you could win.
but white's last. So I think it'd be green
Oh,
and
okay,
black.
you're right.
Okay, your turn.
Oh, you rolled with 11.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
It's alright.
9 on
The
there.
white didn't count anyway. 1 green.
One green, same thing.
Okay.
And I get 2. 1 green. Alright. So for infantry, I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 24.
I have 10.
Yikes. Lots of yellows. 2, 4, 7 yellows. Wait, 2, 4, 6. I rolled 11 again. Oops. Yeah, okay. 3 blues and 7 yellows.
Okay.
Okay.
One, two, 3 yellows. One, 2, 3 blues. Two greens. 1, 2, and 1 black. I can choose which one it goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh wait, force advantage. Neither of us have it. Or was I using?
No, you both use it.
We both use it? Okay.
Yeah.
And then red counts for nothing.
So this is my second roll of 20. Bunch of yellows, 3 blues, and 1 green.
Okay.
And 1 green.
I'm done with
Yeah.
my rolls.
So I have 4 left. Nope. 2 yellows, red and white.
Okay. Took heavy losses.
Yep.
What round is this?
Round
8.
Round 8. The war continues. Oh boy. Deploying units after the battle. Bryansk is embattled. And units are deployed. And at the end of round 8, both sides have moved down the Wheel of Misfortune and they both lose 3 movement orders, but it doesn't matter because they're not riding more than 4 or 5, maybe 6 anyway. End of round 9. And what do we got here? Well, they started with a lot more troops than what they have now. And it's Bryansk. Still embattled. Oops. Bryansk. Still embattled. This is a long war. This is why you end wars quickly. So you move down on the misfortune wheel and all your troops are dead except for a few. Round 10, we got a naval battle going on here.
Two greens and a black. 1, 2,
Wait,
3.
you're attacking my surface. Or you're attacking the ship.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's a surface. 3 greens. So what color am I looking for here? Green?
Yeah, 2 greens and a black.
1, 2, 3. Is that how it works?
I think so.
Huh.
2 greens and a
Oh.
black,
Wait, no.
right?
I think force advantage for blacks and whites miss for side with fewer surface types. What's that mean?
Force
Surface
advantage. Black and white.
Oh, you're saying the
for
black
side
doesn't
with
count
troops.
because I don't have anything over here.
You're right.
So
Yeah.
then it's really
Yeah,
this.
so the black
Okay.
doesn't count.
All right. And that's you're damaged and I lost one plane.
And I think since I'm at a port, I can just repair it for free.
Correct. Yeah. So you're in the Baltic there. Well, no, wait a
You're in
minute.
my port.
No. Yeah, who owns Leningrad?
I do.
But he owns Finland.
Oh, okay.
You never took Finland,
Mm-mm.
so he gets his carrier repaired for free.
Okay, cool.
And what other battles we have happening? Leningrad
And Ukraine.
and the Ukraine. Need hot spots.
Where at? Which one?
Leningrad and Ukraine.
Leningrad. Ukraine. You're right. We do need hotspots.
All right.
That's it. Just in, round 10. Soviets gained enough stress by losing. What'd you lose? Leningrad or
Leningrad.
Leningrad? Even though they won Ukraine, lost Leningrad, moved down the stress board to economic collapse, no resource income. So, I was thinking the Germans were about to be defeated, and it looks like the tide has turned against the Red Army.
It's oil.
So the Soviets do have stuff they could buy, but they cannot collect any more resources. The Germans can. They have some resources. So if the Soviets can't crawl out of this economic collapse hole, Germany will win by default. Basically, they just wore them down. So is the Soviet Union gonna surrender?
I believe that the Soviet Union is going to be forced to surrender. Otherwise, we will delay a bloody war that will cause casualties to rise.
Yes, and it's already been tens of millions.
What's a few more?
What's a few more
What's a
million?
few more?
All right, so, whew, I didn't think it was going to end up this way. I thought the Soviets had enough of an edge. But that's the way war is. You never know how it's going to turn out.
Exactly.
So y'all have any comments? Would y'all like to have your faces on camera or not?
I don't care. I don't know what I don't know if I have any
I
comments.
haven't put Robbie's face on yet.
I think the
Y'all just comment.
Okay.
air strategy plays a bigger role than you think it does.
Yeah.
And you're reluctant to build up your air forces because of the cost using resources, but it's well worth it early on.
Oh yeah.
And then one other factor is flooding them with infantry is probably a decent strategy whenever they're building up their armored forces.
Yeah. I think with that strategy is as long as you have the infantry to like be the cannon fodder, you should have to have the air force to kind of blow up the tanks. Because you just need something to offset having the weak army and infantry to defeat those high defense tanks.
Yep.
The Air Force in this scenario, or the Navy in this scenario, didn't really have that much of a factor. I think we had 2 naval battles, but one of them was just you trying to sink my carrier. So this campaign, it was just kind of a infantry slog.
Ground war completely.
Yeah. And then I also think deploying troops closer to the front is extremely important, especially when you don't have any railroads. Because I think like the first 4 or 5 rounds, I just kept putting all my troops on Greater Germany. And then when I got down to railroads, these guys had to move one by one, and that took a long time to get them deployed. So I guess a good strategy is to try to secure these fronts so that you can deploy reinforcements right there and get them close faster.
Yeah, because nobody penetrated beyond the countries along the original borderline. So it was just one country in on either side. And well, Romania got invaded, but
Yeah.
that was from a Black Sea operation. That was pretty sneaky. But yeah, and so nothing penetrated deep into the Soviet heartland, and nobody ever got into Poland. And so
I think next game I would take more advantage of the neutral territories.
Yeah, I thought about that at the beginning, trying to go through Turkey, but I just kind of forgot about it after building up all the troops on the front. I never thought about trying to flank around.
all right, so that's the end of game 3. Camden of the Germans wins. Before you close down this video, please like and subscribe. The Floating Head says so.